Today we are gonna build 3 new racing minifigure habitats. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm back at building habitats. So here we have a Ferrari minifigure and a Bugatti minifigure from the old Speed Champion 6 stars wide and an old Octan minifigure. So considering that recently LEGO announced this new collaboration with F1, I thought it would be fun to build a series, a set of racing habitats. So the first one is going to be for the Ferrari. So what I did here is a light gray floor, some white wall at the back, and then on top we're going to build in red. Here I try to build a kind of oil spill. I don't know whether it look better to have it raised it up like so, or if it better to have it aligned with the floor. Let me know in the comments which one is better. Here is very simple. I'm using some snot brick to add a little bit of extra thickness to the wall, even though then here we have a little bit of an awkward gap that we will cover with some stuff later on. Going up on top, we are going to do some quite interesting build with a lot of snap techniques. So here I want to have an Italian flag built sideways into the wall. So this is a little bit of the structure. So I'm going to have this white wall with the Italian flag in the middle and the Ferrari logo right in the center. So what I did is having this little construction over here. So you can see to align everything, I use a bracket, this too long bracket, to which I can use this Ferrari sticker from that car that I parted out, and then continue to build on top. Now, to make sure that everything aligned, I need to come up with an additional red one as well. Otherwise, if I only do 3 studs, the alignment wouldn't work. But again, this is the structure. Is actually pretty straightforward. Everything is nice, smooth. There's nothing coming off, and I think it looks pretty nice, and I can proceed to close this off like so. On the other side, I wanted to add a number, so I decided to build number 44 because I think that's the number that usually Lewis Hamilton used, since now he just moved to Ferrari. So what I did here is create the number building sideways. It's a little bit tricky because this structure here has to be built straight up and the rest is sideways. So these are 5 plates, 5 tiles that equal are 2 studs. But because these need to go in the middle, then I can have this construction over here. So this is 2.5 and 2.5 would make it 5. So a total of 10 and everything works. Now these of course cannot be connected because I have this tile coming out. To make sure they stick in place, I added at the back side one by one plate. So this is going to stay inside there and now they cannot fall off. For this one sideways, I just added a longer one. So this is a 3x and it's going to go in that hole at the back. So they're not moving. I'm going to connect this over here on this other side of the wall. And then once I place the next one on top, this is going to stay there and this all close. It cannot go anywhere. I can move this anywhere. Nothing is going to fall off. Now you can see that I have a couple of open studs on top because I have quite a few stickers coming off from this parted out Ferrari 6 wide that I decided to add on the top of the wall here to add a little bit of additional decoration. This is not very well centered, but I think it still works kind well. This one is perfect. And then we can add the details. So over here I'm going to add some sort of bottles of oil or whatever, I don't know, you can find in a workshop, in a car workshop, in a mechanic area. Here we have a toolbox, and then here at the back I'm going to add a piece of the car. So here I'm going to use some stickers again, and this 1x1 printed Ferrari logo that come from that car. I randomly place them on top of this red mudguard to make it look is working on this part of the car. Of course, this is not gonna, I don't think a piece of the car can come off like in such a small piece, but again, let's try to fit what we can into this habitat over here. I think over here we can add the minifigure as well. So we're gonna give him a little bit of a tool over here. And here we have the habitat done. I think we can add a little bit of extra detail here on the side to display this oil spill a little bit better. And I thought for each of these habitat, I can add one accessory on the side. So I saw some of these kind of accessory. I guess it would be a compressor or something of the sort. a pretty simple and straightforward build that is just gonna be here to complement this build. Now, after this, I decided to build the Bugatti one. So for the Bugatti one, I decided to build something a little bit more minimalist. So again, here I have a white floor instead, and I have different shades of blue on the back wall. Here I wanted to create a little bit of a kind of design that come off the wall in two layers of black and dark blue. So here I'm using these one by one with the stud in the center, okay, to create this detail. I had to add a little bit of black there because I cannot really make sure that everything aligned perfectly. What I did on the other wall to make sure that all the things align is this. Actually, this should come off a little bit to the side, like so. I had to use here instead some brackets. So you can see here there is a little bit of gap behind here, and this will make sure that then these align perfectly. So a little bit of compromise done here, but I think the final result works well. This little gap there is barely noticeable. I wanted to add also this pointy detail over there, so I think it looks a little bit more modern, even though there is that little gap, but with the black plates behind, I think it kind of worked. Now, again, of course, here we need to add a lot of details to make this look a little bit better because now there's nothing there. So again, here we have a sticker, the Chiron sticker from the 6 Wide Speed Champions. I'm gonna add it over there. I think over here we can add a couple of tools. This one will give a little bit of a pop of color. And then on top of this shelf over here, I thought I could add a couple of helmets. So I have a blue and a black one. There's a minifigure head inside, transparent one, so that I can connect, and this will be just a little decoration of this workshop on top. Over here I built a small table, white table with blue legs, and another printed element over there. I'm not sure if this comes from the Bugatti, but I think the color scheme worked well, so I think that will work. And I think with that set, we also had a couple of these cones. So I decided to add them again to give a little bit of pop of color into this more simple design habitat. This is going to be the place for the minifigure. And here as well, I'm going to add a piece of the car. Here I actually just follow the instruction of the car. This is a piece that then will be attached at the front of the car. I only had to swap these two pieces because the original pieces from this probably I have used in some other mocks. So I just swapped them out with this, and I think it still works kind of well. This is going to be like that. I think it works out well. And to finish up the build, I thought this could be the accessory that we can put outside. This is one old Lego piece. You can see that the top part is totally ruined. I probably have this since when I was a kid. So the playtime adventure of when I was a kid make this piece go quite bad. But I think it still fits quite well in the theme and the color scheme of this habitat. Now, of course, if you want to find out more about all these builds that I'm making over here, you can check out my membership program. I give bi-weekly photo update for all my members, and for my Dreamers member, they have access to a weekly vlog where I have all the behind the scene of my builds. They've seen all the building process of these habitats, and they already saw also the completed build of my new mock that will be out next week. Moving on to the Octan one, that actually was the nicest one in the end, even though it's not tied to a car, but is the one that I had most fun build because I had a little bit of freedom with the color scheme and to add whatever I want. So I didn't want to go totally with this color scheme, so I decided to use this shade of blue that I think kind of works well and make the minifigure stand out a little bit more. I have these stickers, this long like racing sticker. They might have come maybe with the Ferrari, but I don't remember exactly if they come from that set. So I did this simple structure over here because I want this to be a design in the wall. Now, because this is 8 wide and 8 is the size of the habitat, it was a little bit tricky to get this to fit into the habitat. So I decided to connect one over here, going inside the wall over there because this side is going to be a little bit shorter. This side will come out one stud. If I put this like so, Now everything looks like it's perfectly aligned into the wall. It looks a little bit weird from the side, but still, I have to say, it's quite clean. Now, if you consider this to go next to another habitat, this will align perfectly. Of course, you don't have the stud to connect, but it would work very well. Now, you can see I have a few studs over there because I need to build on top of that. So what I decided to do over here is to add a Octan and a service logo, these with simple snot bricks, like so. I had to get this one. These again are different printed parts that I have from different cars. So this I think is from the Mustang, and here I have some Mercedes extra printed parts. I had to give a little bit of misalignment. So I have regular snot, I have a Technic pin, I have a headlight brick turn face up, so that I can give a little bit of misalignment between these to make it look a little bit more interesting. And again, we put this there, and this is gonna align nicely with the rest of the wall. Over on this side, I want to add a wall with license plates because I have quite a lot of those from different cars, small and big. So I decided to go a little bit into the wall using headlight bricks. So with this technique like so, they are a little bit sticking out, not as much as this one. You can clearly see the difference, and I think this adds a nice variety to this wall that now is nice and filled, and it looks like a real workshop. Now, of course, here we need to add a few details for this minifigure. So over here, you can find this similar design to this. There are many different like car workshop mocks you can look online, and there are always different variation in different scale of this kind of cards. So we are sticking out here with these drawers. I connected the tool to the stud over there. Here I have just a simple stud to close it up and make it look a little bit nicer. And here we have this part from the hinge brick that usually are made to incline stuff that are gonna work as wheels. Okay, this is a common technique that I've seen in other mocks, and this is gonna be over there at the back. Now I'm gonna give this to the minifigure. So again, a little bit more red, a little bit more color to this build. The minifigure is gonna be a little bit here on the side, and this also will make sure that we can see the cart at the back a little bit better. We are not gonna hide it so much. Initially, I was thinking to have this one carrying a wheel like this, but it will block the view of the car. So I thought maybe the wheel can go on the side like so. And as an additional detail, we need, I think, a little bit of green. So I have this garbage bin in green that is calling on the color of that minifigure. Then we can just bring everything in. It barely fits into the screen over here, and we can add also all these little accessories that we have to finish up the complete set of habitats. Now I can show you a better picture of the 3 habitats together. Let me know what you think of this idea of a racing habitat. I potentially can go and look at my Speed Champions little collection if I can make some other workshop for different car brands. Let me know what you would like to see next. And if you want to see more minifigure habitat, I recommend you to go and check out my series of habitats from the series 27. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.